Okay. First we will try to create the Snowflake free trial account. So as discussed yesterday, high level. So Snowflake is offering to create the free trial account, which is valid for 30 days, or it will provide the worth of $400 usage. Means there are some certain charges in a Snowflake, like for the data, for the storage of the data, there are the storage charges. For the processing data, there are the compute charges, and also there are some other serverless charges are there. For all these charges, they will charge in a credit based. We'll discuss in detail about the Snowflake charges. So whenever you are using this free trial account, you are going to deal with some data, you are working with some data, so that there are the storage and storage and compute charges are applicable. So that day by day there is the charges are increasing, so that up to $400 we can use a this free trial account without any credit card required. So let's give us some details. Your name, last name, and work email. Who you are signing up. These are the few options you can select any of this one. The company costing Snowflake training or certification, anything is no problem. And now click on continue. Now you can see here, you can provide any company name, right? I can simply provide the ABC, and you need to provide the job title. Let's say, for example, a data engineer. Any name is no problem. And here you need to choose the edition. In a Snowflake, there are 4 editions are there. Out of 4, we can see only 3 options here, right? We can discuss in detail about the various versions or what are the various editions are available. So for our purpose, enterprise edition is enough. We'll select this one, right? And then next, as we discussed during demo, Snowflake is on top of 3 cloud platforms, which are there: Microsoft Azure, Amazon Web Services, which is nothing but AWS, and Google Cloud Platform. You can select any of these 3 cloud platforms based on our requirement. So most of the cases, AWS will be selected. Why? Because the Snowflake first, started with the AWS, and also Snowflake having a more number of regions across the globe. In addition, any new feature comes in a Snowflake, that first will started in AWS regions as a preview feature. After that, they will start jumping into the other cloud platforms. And in an industry, more than 80% of Snowflake customers are choosing AWS. More than 80% of customers are choosing AWS as their cloud platform for the Snowflake. Around 15 to 18% for the Microsoft Azure, the left of 2 to 3% for the Google Cloud Platform. That's why Snowflake also is adding any new feature that will start with the AWS first, and then they will jump into other cloud platforms as well. In our case, we will select the AWS as our cloud platform, and then we need to choose the region. If you remember, during demo, we discussed like what is a cloud and where the infrastructure is provided for that cloud. For that cloud, the infrastructure provided across the regions. If you see AWS regions, click on global infrastructure and regions, right? If you see here, these are the various in North America, South America, Europe, right? Across the globe. Let me close these things. AWS is on 38 geographic regions, right? Means a region is in a specific location where actual data center is involved, right? A region is specific location where actual data center is available. So across the globe, there are 38 regions are available. There are 38 regions are available for the AWS. And out of that, there are the 120 availability zones. What is the availability zone, right? For example, let me open a paint. If you consider, for our case, if you consider the Mumbai as a region, let me go to here, Asia Pacific, and here we can have these are the different regions in Asia Pacific. And if you go to down, you can see Mumbai here, right? If you select here, in a Mumbai, AWS started region in the year of 2016, right? And that Mumbai region contains the three availability zones. That Mumbai region contains the three availability regions. Similarly, if you see, this is Hyderabad. Hyderabad started in 2022. These also having the three availability zones, right? What does it mean by availability zone? Simply, if you see, if you consider same Mumbai, right? If you consider the same Mumbai, there are three availability zones. An availability zone is in a specific location, availability zone in a specific location where actual data center is available. Consider if there is only one availability zone, means region itself is an availability zone. You may keep that data center in any one of the area of that particular city, right? If any if any earthquakes or any cyclones, kind of any disasters are happen, if that particular area is out of power or out of some issues, kind of the things, that complete availability that complete region is not available for use cases. That's why what they will do, they will create a different availability zones in different areas of the city, For example, in a Mumbai itself, in East Mumbai, they will keep the one availability zone. In a West, one availability zone. In a South or North, they will keep one availability zone. So that if any disasters occur on particular area of that particular city, maybe on the east side, north side, the other two availability zones are available, ready to provide the service, right? This is the concept of availability zones. For example, if you consider, this is AZ1 and this is AZ2 and this is my AZ3, and this entire is a Mumbai region. Entire is a Mumbai region, right? And whatever data we are storing into Snowflake, that data will go and store in all these three availability zones, right? Whatever you are loading the one table data, that will store in a three areas, in a three availability zones, so that if anything goes wrong, if anything goes wrong for the particular availability zone, then that is available in from other availability zones. That is the concept of availability zone, right? So Mumbai, there are the three availability zones, right? And similarly, Hyderabad also three availability zones, right? Now, if you see here, for that AWS, there are three regions, means three across the globe, there are 38 regions. Out of 38 regions, there are the 120 availability zones. Why? Because if you see particular North America, uh, let me go down. If you see here, there are the six availability zones. In North Virginia, there are the six availability zones. In Ohio, three availability zones. In Mexico, there are the three availability zones. Like depending upon the requirement, they may keep 3, 4, 5, 6. Like they have the different size of availability zones, different number of availability zones across the globe. Now, if you see here, there are 38 availability zones. Now, if you go back to our trial account, if you see here, here you can see these are the availability zones: Asia Pacific, Singapore, Jakarta, Seoul, Osaka, like that. You can see if you go down Asia Pacific, Sydney, right? Like you can see. If you observe here you cannot find all 38. All 38. Why? Because as of now, the AWS is not supporting all the regions to the Snowflake. If you go here, Snowflake supported AWS regions, right? If you see supported cloud regions, if you click here, right? And this is the diagram you can see. Let me open bigger. Now, these yellowish color is an AWS related regions. These reddish one is in a Google Cloud, and this blue one is an Azure related one. If you see here, you can see more number of AWS regions are available, right? More number of available AWS regions are available. Now, if you see in Mumbai, there is an AWS region as well as an Azure region. The Snowflake is supporting. But if you remember, in Hyderabad also there is an AWS region. But as of now, it is not supporting for Snowflake. It is not supporting for Snowflake, right? So if you see here, AWS is supporting for out of 38 regions, few regions are available for Snowflake. If you simply, you can see there is a in a Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, there is an region for AWS, but as of now, it is not supporting for Snowflake. Now, in India, there is only Mumbai is supporting for AWS. Like that, you can see few options only. That's why you can select whichever you want, right? In our case, we can select the Northern Virginia region, right? And click on select, click on get started, and it's asking for the some verification. Let me click this one. I am not robot to showcase that one. Okay. Now, there are the kind of some options are available. What will you use Snowflake for? This is options they will for that purpose, so that you can skip it, no problem. And almost here, which is your preferred language to work on Snowflake? Snowflake is supporting these are the languages. For in our case, we are using the SQL. Right? Click on submit. Now you can check your inbox. There is a link came into our mail ID to activate our Snowflake account. Let's wait for a minute. It will take a few moments. Sometimes it will go to spam also. Let's wait for a minute. We will wait for a minute. Meanwhile, I have one diagram. Let me explain about this one. After logged into Snowflake, we can see kind of this diagram. So this is the classic console. Means this is the first UI when Snowflake is started. This is the first UI when Snowflake is started. Now you cannot see this one. This is a deprecated now. Previously, whenever the Snowflake is started, this kind of a UI was there. This kind of UI was there, right? What are the options are available? Like here you can see there is a database where we can see the list of databases, whatever we can create the databases, existing database, all the things we can see here. Similarly, there is a shares options are there. Share means during demo we say that we can share Snowflake data, we can share the Snowflake data to the various vendors or stakeholders, right? Who have the Snowflake account or who does not have the Snowflake account also. Kind of the shares options are available that we can see here. Similarly, there is an option called marketplace, right? Similar option called as the marketplace. Marketplace is a kind of one where there is a plenty of data is available. That data we can use for our project purpose. Let's say, for example, you want to start one business, but particular specific application, but you want to do some forecast analysis. To do the forecast analysis, you need some data, right? You need some data. So if you don't have the data, that kind of data is available in a marketplace. There are the data for the free as well as there are the data for some paid charges are available. Depending upon your requirement, you can choose the data, you can import your data to your Snowflake database and you can do kind of analysis for future forecast, right? Similarly, warehouses. Warehouses is nothing but warehouse is nothing but it's a kind of compute resources, right? Don't confuse with this. Warehouse is not data warehouse. During our demo what we said, warehouse, that is not. This is a compute resources, right? Compute resources means remember, as if you remember, the in case of a basic understanding of architecture, we saw the three layers: data storage layer and the compute layer. That compute layer is nothing but warehouses, where we can get the kind of some CPU and RAM, nothing but in the form of nodes available, right? That is the warehouse. And similarly,
Uh,
worksheets.
Sir,
Yeah,
sorry to say this. Can you please slow down?
yeah, sure. Just I will explain again. No worry. Okay. Anyway, we got a mail. So after your successful sign up, you can see kind of mail you will get, right? Now here you can click to activate. I will go back again, right? Now you need to provide the username, right? This is the one time username you need to, just I will provide the SDK. You need to provide the password. That password must be between the 14 and 256 characters. That contains one number and zero special characters, one uppercase, one lowercase, based on your requirement. Let me provide the password. Choose one. I provided some password. Confirm the password. One uppercase, one lowercase, and one number, and total number should be between the 14 and 256. Click on get started. See. Now, whenever you are signed up, the first time you can see kind of this one, right? See here, welcome to the Snowflake. How do you want to start? Explore the sample data set, right? There are the plenty of sample data available in the Snowflake itself. If you want to explore some sample data, you can click on the start here, right? If you want to load your own data, right? If you have your data, you can load data, right? You can load data and you can explore, right? Depending upon our requirement. For now, we can go with a skip for now, right? This is the console, right? See, I shown one diagram, right? Now this and this not same, right? This and this not same. This is a classic console at the time of Snowflake starting, right? Whenever during the Snowflake starting, they came up the one console called classic console. Now that is deprecated, right? Now here I will explain about again these options. See, one option is called databases, where we can see the list of databases. By default, there are the two databases will be created in a Snowflake. In addition, you can create your own database. All these database options are available here. Inside the database, you can see the tables, views, schemas, stages, file formats, sequences, pipes, all we can see here. Similarly, option called saves. Shares is an option to share the data to the other stakeholders or vendors who have the Snowflake account as well as who does not have the Snowflake account also, right? We can share the data to the people who does not have Snowflake account also, right? That is the purpose of shares. And next one is in a marketplace. If you want to analysis, if you want to do kind of some analysis, for that purpose analysis, you need some data. That data is available in a marketplace. Marketplace is a place where 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 you as well as few other users can post the data, so that there are the data sets are available in the marketplace which can be used by users, right? There is a free data sets are available, paid data sets are available, right? Depending upon our requirement, you can choose the data, you can download into your database, and you can apply transformations, or you can do kind of some explore, or you can do kind of some research based on your requirement, right? Next one is in a warehouses. Warehouses is nothing but compute resources, right? The required CPU, RAM, right? Whatever the required CPUs and RAMs to process the data, to load the data, those resources are available in the form of warehouses, right? Warehouses. Next one is in a worksheets. Worksheets are nothing but where we can write in a SQL code to load the data, to process the data, to unload the data, right? Whatever the SQL commands required, we can write in a worksheets, right? And history. History is nothing but kind of what are the various queries we have executed, what are the data sets are available, the kind of history we can see in a history. So this is the classic console. Now they
Sir,
deprecated, yeah.
a difference between is warehouses and worksheets. Worksheets will upload the data, we can
No, no,
delete
no.
the data.
No. Worksheets simply it will the kind of editor where we can write the SQL queries. That's all.
Okay, we can only write the SQL queries.
That's all. That's all. Let me show you. Uh,
Already that one is open.
Sorry.
Already that one is open worksheet. Editor board.
Yeah.
Go to Snowflake. Go to Snowflake.
No.
Sir.
This one is a snow site. I'm going to show the old version of classic console one.
Okay.
This worksheet I'm trying to open. This is the actual worksheet in a classic console, right? Simply you can write the SQL queries over here, right? You need to select the role, you need to select the warehouse, like compute resources, and you need to select the database schema, and then you can write the SQL queries, you can execute here. After execution of the SQL queries, you can see the result over here, and you can see the history over here, right? What is the command executed, whether it is a fail or success, kind of thing. This is the old classic console worksheet. This is the new one, right? Snow site one. We will go the here in live. We will go the here. Just I am trying to explain the old things, right? That is the worksheet. Warehouse is nothing but let me go back again. If you see here compute under WH, this is the warehouse. This is the warehouse. In this diagram, these warehouse are nothing but this compute under WH. These worksheets are nothing but this is the complete worksheet. This warehouse will provide the CPU RAM nothing but compute resources to process my query, to execute my query, to load my data, to process my data, right? That is the one. Now, this is about a bit about the classic console. Now, why they got deprecated means in this old classic console one, it is not supporting for executing the Python related queries, as well as we don't have an option to download the worksheets. there are a few other problems are there. That's why they deprecated and they come up the new console called Snowsight, right? New console called Snowsight. This is the Snowsight. Again, this Snowsight is also updated with a few options, but still Snowsight only few options. If you compare here, this is a bit different. See here, this is a project data products monitoring admin in an old Snowsight. Recently, in September 2025, they updated this console again. They modified this console. They come up with a lot of new options where you can see the machine learning, AI, transformation. Then a lot of options are available, right? Now, if you see here, this is the new console. After we logged in, we can see here. Now, if we go back here, we'll see what we can see. We'll try to understand the high level of these options. Later, we will jump into in detail and in the coming sessions, right? Now, if you see here, when you mouse over the projects, you can see the options called worksheets, notebooks, slim list, dashboards, app package, and so on, right? If you click on worksheets, you can see worksheets options over here. As of now, there are no worksheets are available, right? If you want to create the worksheets, you can see multiple options are available. Click on these options. You can see whether you want a SQL worksheet or Python worksheet, or you want to create the folder, right? We can create the folders in order to segregate the worksheet based on our requirement. If, for example, in our project, if you are working for a particular feature, then you can create the different folders and you can add those whatever the worksheets you are creating into the particular folder. Let's say, for example, if I want to create the folder, let's say it's for the demo folder, right? I can create the folder. Now I'm inside the demo folder. If you go back here, you can see here, this is the folder, right? Now I want to create the one worksheet. Click on the SQL worksheet, right? Let me close all this one, right? Now you can see here, this is the worksheet opened. Now if you see here, there are these are the databases. See option, this is the databases. By default, there are the 3 databases will be created automatically, right? By default, there are 3 databases. This is not exactly the database. It's a kind of providing some basic information. Mainly, there are the 2 databases. One is a learning DB, right? Snowflake learning DB. These having there's a lot of information available, right? And there are the 2 schemas, information schema and public schema. If you expand the information schema, right, there is some views are available, right? These are the lot of views. So before that, whenever we create any database, default 2 schemas will be created. One is an information schema, another one is a public schema. These 2 schemas will be created automatically for every database we create, right? Information schema contains the views which will provide the information about that particular database, right? For example, if you go down, what are the columns in particular the database, what are the tables are there, all the things available, what is the load history in the sense, what are the various files we have loaded into that particular database, right? All the information we can see here, right? What are the various tables are available, table constraints, all the information available in the information schema. The name itself, information schema, this will provide the information about that particular database, right? And if you see here, inside a public, we can see there are the few tables are available. As of now, this Snowflake learning table, as of now, no objects are available, right? Now, if you see sample data, here we can see again information schema as well as the few other schemas are available. Each schema will contain some tables. If you see TPCHSF1, if you expand this one, you can see inside the table option, there are the various tables are available. If you mouse over to the customer, you can see this is about information about this particular table called customer, right? Type is a table. Number of rows inside this table is 150K. Inside this customer table, there are the 150K rows are available and size 10.3 MB and any cluster key owner created 10 months ago, kind of some basic information is available, right? If you go down, expand again TPCH SF10. This one is a TPCH SF1. This is a TPCH SF10. If I expand here, same. If I expand again tables, if I mouse over onto the customer, you can see 1.5 million rows, which means this number of rows here 1.5, here is 150k, means 10 times, right? Similarly, if you go to the line items, there is a 6 million. If you go to line items, you can see 60 million, means the number of rows in this schema is 10 times, right? TPS SF10 means here the number of rows are 10 times. If you go down 100 times compared to the TP SF1, right? If you go down, there is 1,000 times. If you expand here, and let me go check for the smaller table. See, in nation, there are only 25. If you go here, you can see number of rows again 25 only. Let me go down. Yeah. But especially for the customers, you can see 150 million here, right? It's 1,000 times. If you go here in a customer, if you go to the in a customer, there is only 150k. Here 150 million rows. Like there is a plenty of data is available from Snowflake sample data, right? So if you want to create, we can create our own database also. That we can see later. Now, so you need to select the database. Whenever you are trying to execute some query, that query can be to create the table. Hope you are getting some noise. Give me 1 minute. I will move to some other location.
No problem, Srikanth. Everything fine.
Fine, right?
So yes, we are not any disturbance.
Okay. Good. So whenever you are trying to write some SQL query, that query can be to create the table, can be to load the data, can be to query the data, can be to create any view. So that query doing something like it's creating table, where it should create, it create inside some database. If you want to query the data, you can query data from table, where the table should be inside that particular database. So that you need to select the particular database, right? Whatever query you are executing over here, that should be connected to the particular database, right? So you need to select the database. As of now, we can see there is only some sample database. Let me select some sample database, right? And you need to select the schema as well, right? Now click on here. You can see this database I have selected, Snowflake under sample data dot TPCH SF1 is a schema, right? Now also we need to select some particular role, right? So there are various system default roles are available, right? Like account admin, org admin, public. These are the roles, right? In a Snowflake, role is owner of every object. User is not an owner, role is a owner. This is a very important thing, right? We'll discuss in detail about this particular role session. The system default roles are there. Additionally, we can create our own custom roles. In real time, we always go with the custom roles, right? And also, we need to select the warehouse, right? So, first of all, role in the sense to execute that particular query, right? Or to create the particular table. If you want to try to create the table inside this one, you should have the particular role, right? Similarly, if you want to fetch the data from particular table, you have an access, means that is you should have that particular role access, right? Kind of thing. Similarly, to execute that particular query, we need some compute resources. That resource comes from these warehouses. These are the compute resources. By default, there are the two compute resources. There are the two warehouses created by default, right? If we want to create our own, we can create our own, right? Let's say, for example, I want to I want to select the table, right? Select, and if you see here, after providing the 2 or 3 letters, you can see automatically. And if you click on tab, automatically it will provide the option to select, right? Select star, right? For example, let me expand this one, right? TPSH, I want to pull the data of customers, right? So if you see, select star from customer, right? Select star from customer, right? If you provide here and you can select this one, you can click on run, right? You can click on run, or you can click simply control enter, right? Now it will try to pull the data. There is an error, right? Unexpected, sorry, select star from, right? Let me execute this one. As there is a huge amount of data, it will take some time. Now we can see it got executed, right? Here is the, we can see the output, right? That particular table data. This table data having these are the columns: custom key, CNAME, address, national key, kind of things are available. Like there is a lot of options available. If you want to select the particular columns, let's say for example, I don't want the nation key, I don't want the management, I don't want the comment, I don't want the, just apply. Automatically it will filter, it will show that particular columns, right? Whichever column you want, you can select that those columns only. You can download the data. When you click on the download, you can download as a CSV file, just for Excel or TSV file, right? CSV means comma separated values, CSV for Excel, and TSV means tab separated value. We'll discuss all these details in detail, right? And here it will provide the what about my query. This is my query, right? These query details we can see here, right? Total query duration, it took total query duration, it took the 2.1 second. Let me expand a bit above. And what are the total number of fetched? 150k, right? This is the query ID, and this is a custom key, CNAME, what are the fields are we have, kind of thing it will show, right? And if you click on that particular query ID, it will go to the location where we have about the information, like about what happened inside this query, right? See here, result. Let me drag this side. Okay, it's a first of all what it do. It first, this is the first step, table scan. It will scan that particular table and it will show the result, right? For that, what will happen, you can see here. And if you see here, you can see the query details also. Details, success, what is the duration, driver support, driver status support, what is the start time, what is the end time, what is the query ID, kind of some information we can see. This is the query, this is my result, all the things we can see here, right? Let me go back. So like we can see, these are the options, and you can see here, if you click on this chart, you can see the charts also, right? For particular columns, you can see kind of some, it will auto generate the charts also, right? So now let me go back to 1 minute. Let me create the new worksheet. Oops. I have created the new worksheet. Here I have not selected the any database. Now what I will do, I will take the same query, I copied it, I will go here and I will paste here. I will try to execute, right? I have copied it. For this one, I have not selected the database, but role is account admin. This warehouse also compute under WH by default is there, right? Let me try to execute this one. I will try to run it. It throw an error because SQL compilation error. Customer does not exist or not authorized. Means this customer table does not exist. Means this, whenever I'm trying to execute, this customer table is not found. Means from which database it should select. That's why this thrown error. Customer table does not exist or not authorized. So what we need to select? We need to select the database or other options. Let me show you. Select start from, right? If you go here, expand this one, expand to our required table, go here, customer, simply if you click on three dots, there is an option called place name in the editor. Automatically it will provide editor. Now if you compare for the first query and second query, here we provide the Snowflake select star from customer. If you see here, so for the second one, we have provided the full path. Snowflake under sample data dot tpchsf dot customer, means this is my database this is my schema, this is my table. I am providing the full path. Whenever you are executing this query, it throws an error. What does it mean? Customer does not exist. For example, if I try to execute the second query, here I am providing the full path. It will return the results for me, because here we are providing the full path. Either you can select from here, if you select from here, you are providing the database path from here. If you are not selecting, you can pass here. Whenever you are dealing with the multiple databases, the best way to select the second option, provide the full path. Whenever you are dealing with only single database, then you can select from here and work here, right? Whenever you are dealing with the multiple databases, full path we need to provide. Either you can write the select star from database name dot schema name dot table name, or simply you can go here, place 3 dots, click on this one, automatically it will provide. Or you can select the copy name also, right? Name is copied. If you see here, it will automatically provide that particular path, right? Like that we can see. Now I am go back to here. This is a 2 minute data points, because there is a huge amount of data. That's why it's showing some error. That's why leave it. Okay. So this is a bit about our worksheets. Now let me try to create the one database. Create database. Automatically keywords will come. Database name, for example, I will give the demo under DB. Right? I will try to execute this one. Let's run this one. Right? Database demo successfully created. Where we can see here. Who is the owner for this demo DB? Account admin, because I have selected the account admin, right? Because I selected the account admin, right? Now let me refresh here. If you refresh here, you can see demo DB database, right? If you expand here, you can see 2 schemas will be created automatically. For every database we create, 2 schemas will be created automatically. That the first one is an information schema, second one is a public schema. If you expand this information schema, inside that one, there are the various views are available. Same, all the views are same for all databases. But each schema, each information schema contains the views. Each views having the specific information about that particular tables or schemas or pipes, whatever available particular to this database. And by default, public schema is an empty. By default, public schema is an empty, right? For example, now if you see here, whenever I created this database, whenever I execute this command, automatically it's selected to this database and schema. Automatically it's selected, right? Now, for example, if I create the one more database, create database, for example, I give the test DB. Let me try to execute this one. Now, if you see here, automatically change to database. Whenever you execute this creating database, automatically it will change, right? Now, if you see here, let me try to execute the first command, select star from customers. It throw an error, because it is going to check for the customer table inside the test DB, right? Let me refresh this one. You can see the test database, right? There is a test database. If you expand this one, you can see information schema and public as usual. And if you expand this public, there are no tables are there, right? So whenever I executing this command, it is going to search for the table customer inside the test DB, inside the public schema. Because no table is available, it shows the customer does not exist or not authorized, right? Now let me open this account admin, roles, and I will try to change to the other role called public, right? There is a hierarchy, right? There is a hierarchy. We'll discuss in detail during the separate session called roles. Now I will try to, if you see here, now you can see the test DB, all the DBs are available. Let me try to refresh here. Let me try to, databases. Public It's shown in databases, but for the objects what we create inside that one, those will not show during our role session. We'll discuss in detail, right? For now, up to any doubts here? Just now we created the two worksheets. If you click on the worksheets, you can see there are the two worksheets. These are outside of the demo folder. If you click on three dots, you can rename it, you can duplicate it, you can delete it, you can move to my folder called demo folder. I'm trying to move. Now it moved to the inside. If you expand this one, you can see inside this one, right? There is a one worksheet inside demo folder, one worksheet outside. I am going to rename it. Rename test worksheet. Click yes. Now change it now. Now if I want to move here, move to demo folder. It move to inside demo folder. Now all two worksheets under demo folder. Like that, you can create the various folders based on our requirement, and we can create worksheets inside those folders, right? And let's go back to the home. Any doubts inside this about these worksheets? Again, multiple times continuously we'll working on this worksheet itself only, right? All our practical sessions on worksheets only, right? Other things we'll discuss later. Whatever the graphs, we will try to create the graphs, right? Those graphs are available inside this dashboards. We can see inside this dashboards. Now the new feature is in a workspace. These worksheets are going to replace with the workspaces in a soon. These are the new feature is started, right? Now if you go here ingestion, you can add data, right? You can add data. Click on add data. There are the various options we can load data into Snowflake. Bring your data into Snowflake. If you have load data into table, click on these options. You can directly browse this file. And if you want to select the particular database, select the database, for example, DemoDB. Inside this public one, if you have the table, you can select the table. If not, you can create the table here itself only. But this is not recommended. We'll create using the SQL commands later on, right? Similarly, we have an option called stage. We'll discuss in detail about the stages where we can discuss, right? Stage, Snowflake stage. If you want to load the data into AWS S3, you can select these options where you can see from which database you want to load the data. For example, from public schema, right? And if you see any tables that reflect over here, and you need to provide the AWS S3 URL over here and comment authentication. Like there are the two kinds of authentication. One is in a storage integration, another one is in credentials. This is the recommended one. We'll discuss in detail during the data loading. And these are the options are available. If you want to encrypt or you want to don't encrypt, encryption, all the things we'll discuss in detail later. And similarly, if you want to load data from your Microsoft Azure or from Google Cloud, you can select wherever you want, from where your data is available. From there, you can load data into Snowflake. That is for add data. We'll discuss in detail. Copy history. There is a command called copy. Copy command is used to load the data into Snowflake as well as to unload the data from Snowflake, right? Copy is the command to load data into Snowflake as well as to unload data from Snowflake. From where just now in add data, right? In add data we saw, right? You are trying to load the data, providing all the options using UI. The same thing you can use, you can execute using the copy command, right? Using the copy command, right? So copy command is used to load the data. From where we can load the data? We can load data from AWS S3, Azure, Blobs, Google Cloud, or from on-premises or other databases. Lot of options. From where you want to load the data, you can execute that copy command. If you execute any copy command, that copy command history we can see here, right? We'll discuss in detail. If you have any migrations, directly you can migrate the data. From where you have the data, you can start migrating, loading the data, right? This option, using these options. And transformations like this is the DBT projects, dynamic tables, we'll discuss in detail later. And this is one of tasks. For example, if you want to do kind of any job scheduling kind of things you have, then you can go with the tasks options, right? You can create the task here. If any tasks are already created, those will be those will be, we can see inside this task options, right? This is completely for the machine learning things. This is not relevant to our course. It's a kind of some AI and ML. And next, coming to the monitoring. For monitoring, you can see the query history, right? If you see here, whatever the query just now we have executed, right? Those queries we can see here, right? One command from top to bottom, right? These are there are around 25 one, right? These are the default one whenever we are trying to log in or creating the account, right? And see here, who is the user here? First user. These are the system default users. If you go down, SD care, my username is an SD care. From here it will start, right? From here it will start, right? And whether it is a success or failure. See, one command we executed select star customer without query syntax error. From select star from, right? That error is there, right? If you see this one, what is the user, which warehouse it used, what is the duration, when started, when stopped, all the options are available, right? Same thing. Sorry, go back to the query history. Same thing. If you see here, there is a query ID, right? If you click on that query ID, it will go to the query ID where you can, just now we saw, right? Query details, query profile, right? If you see query profile, what is the absence happen, all the things we can see here, right? If you go back here, you can see it the again a query history, right? What is the username, whether it is success or failure, query ID, all the things we can see here, right? And here also you can customize the columns which you want to, right? Whether you want a warehouse size, if you want to select this one, there are the, in case of warehouses, the size are available like in the form of t-shirt size, like XL, double XL, small, extra small kind of are available. Just now I have selected the warehouse size, right? If you see here it's an extra small, right? For the few commands, warehouse is not required. For few commands, warehouse is required. That's why you can see here dash options. We'll discuss in detail later, right? Now, if you go back here, service jobs, this is the kind of some, if you are having any container kind of jobs, if you want to execute those things, you can see over here. Similarly, this is for long running purpose, we'll use services. For short running, we'll use the jobs. For short lived one, we'll use the jobs, right? And this is the traces, logs, all these options are available. And if you see here, this is the marketplace. Here I said about this marketplace, right? This is the marketplace where we can have a kind of some data available, right? If you see here, these are the lot of data is available, right? If you see here, data products, right? And before that, what kind of data you want, right? Data for demographic, what is your requirement? If you are planning to start some business, before that you want to kind of some analysis, you need some data. So based on your requirement, what kind of business you are starting, if whether you are starting for the commerce related one, you can select this one. Whether you want to going for the financial one, click on this one, right? Let me, for example, if I go with the financial one, inside financial one, there is a lot of data is available. These data is posted by the users like us, as well as a few are by Snowflake, and also there are the kind of some free available, there are some paid one available, right? See, for example, by request, in the sense there is some paid available. If you see here, this is the free one, right? If you click on this one, it will give the overview of that particular data set, right? Slingshot empowers your teams to spend wisely, forecast confidently, and make smart decisions, right? This will give the kind of some information about this data, what is the data is available, all the things, right? And if you want to click on this one, if you click on this get, it will come to our database, and then you can apply the whatever the transformations or any exploration required, you can go with this one, right? Go back here, like based on our requirement, we can see different options are available. If you click on all products, right? It's a COVID related data, right? And also if you expand categories, you can see data for good demographic data, economic data, energy data, environmental data, financial data, like different data are available based on our requirement. Media data, you can see all these options, right? Class 2 minutes for class number, class 2 minutes. Yeah, like we can see marketplace over here, right? And if you this is my name and account admin means role. If you click on this one, let me bit minimize. If you click on this one, you can see this is my name, whatever I provide while creating an account, and here you can see roles. You can switch the roles if you want from here, right? And we'll discuss in detail about the roles, right? And this is my account details, right? Whenever you are trying to create, there is a kind of some account ID will be generated automatically. Those details are available. If you click on account details, you can see details like what is my account name. Let it load. Like account identifier. This is my account identifier. Data sharing account identifier. Whenever you are trying to sharing data to the other account, this is the identifier. What is my organization? This organization. Inside this organization, we can have the multiple accounts. I have the one account which is called this account. This is my account URL. If we go to my mail ID, see here, this is the one link need to log in again and again. If you see here, this is my account ID UKA PKXQ, the same one you can see here. UKA, this one. This is the same one, right? Right. Kind of the one we can see here. And my login name is an SDKR. Role I have right now is an account admin. Account locator, cloud platform, I have selected the AWS. Edition, I have selected the enterprise edition. Kind of options are available, right? Let me click on again here, right? And a few settings are available. This is the kind of some general one about my profile, any preferences, right? Whether you want to go with the dark theme or light system theme. Light one, light means it will come with the white. System is default one, system one. If you select the dark one, you can see in the dark one. Language, it will support the various languages like Chinese, French, and English, right? And default role, by default role, it's account admin. If you want to change from here, you can change here. Default warehouse, whenever in a warehouses, whenever trying to open the worksheet, automatically you can see this compute on WH. That's because this is the default warehouse. If you want to change here, you can change here. And any notifications, if you want notifications, you can select this enable options, right? Some cost management related anything we can see here. And here is MFA notification. MFA nothing but multi-factor authentication. Whenever trying to log into my Snowflake account, I am providing the username and password. But in real time, in a companies, they provide the additional options, which is nothing but multi-factor authentication. There are the two kinds of MFs are available. One is in a device-based, another one is in a software-based. Means there are kind of some mobile apps available. Mobile apps are available, like Authenticator apps, Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator. Those we can configure. Or we can say kind of some, let me show you. This is a kind of some other second factor authentication, right? This is a kind of device. It will be configured to our Snowflake account. For every 30 seconds, this 6 digit is going to change. After you are providing your username and password, it will ask for this code. You need to pass this one, right? Kind of options are available. RSA soft. This is a token RSA. Software means there is a kind of some mobile app is available that we need to log into in a mobile. We can install that app. It will in the app it will automatically for every 30 seconds new code will be generated. It will repress that code. We need to pass that code also, right? Either one. Click on authentication here. As of now, if you want to change the password, you can change the password here. This is the place where we can configure the multi-factor authentication. If you want to add multi-factor authentication, click on add new authentication. Right. Let me show you. Whether you want to put passcode or authenticator. Passcode is a kind of additional password. Authenticator means it will come with the, you need to download the authenticator app, right? Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. After downloading, you need to scan this one. It will do some kind of some generate the code. You need to pass this one. Kind of bit configurations are there. You need to do work this one, right? We are not going to that one. Kind of some programmatic access tokens means whenever you are executing application in some particular program, that program may need some token that we can configure over here, right? And in an inside account, there is a general option is there. I said, right, workspaces are coming in soon. In place of worksheets, workspaces are coming. As of now, worksheets are supporting. If you enable this one, it will come with the worksheets default, right? And if you are recovering, if there is some worksheets are created by user and that user is dropped. Let's say, for example, I am the user of SD care. I have created another user called Sidhu. That Sidhu user created some worksheets and that user is dropped. After that, we can recover those dropped worksheets from that particular this option, right? Let me go back again. It's just kind of support. If you want to kind of any support, you need to click on this one. You need to raise a request here, enable the support. If you have any queries which is not in our hand, then we can go with this support option. Appearance, again, if you want here also inside this preferences, again we have here. If you click on light, it will change automatically. Connect to the tool called Snowflake. If you want to connect some tools, you can go with this one. Kind of options are available. Same thing, account details, all these things. Client download is an option to download some client tools like connectors, drivers, libraries. For example, if you want to connect to using the Java, or you want to connect to the Python, or if you want to go with the connect to the Snowflake CLI remote command line interface kind of options are available. If you want to any drivers, you can go from here and you can download here. Documentation, Snowflake will put the good documentation for the any references for you can go with this one. This is a kind of some privacy notice, session details, all the things and all, right? When session started, provide some details, right? This is about some basic information about the Snowflake UI. We'll go in detail each and every part, right? As of now, any doubts? Yes, if no doubt, that's all for today. We'll come tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.